Hello, all. It's your favorite gorilla here. Back with me is the Ryan Roger Athay. I know I said that
Correct.
right tonight.
Yes.
Yeah. So I got that one over on was it Loki? You said that.
Yes,
You
he
said
a few times he did get my last name wrong. I didn't correct him because I thought it was a little funny.
right. All right. So thanks to Resolute Germ, I'm defending the remake of Red Dawn, the 2012 version.
Mm.
Now I gotta say, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the remake actually did it justice.
Mm.
There, there. I mean, um, though I do got a few complaints about the movie, especially
Mhm.
one where the China got changed to North Korea, but still. But I thought the acting was good. There's nice pacing. We were enjoying it all the way around, and there, it's fun, entertaining, plenty of
Mm.
explosions. You know,
Oh
though
yes.
though I get. Oh, I better stay leaned up here. Just a second, I'm gonna adjust my chair here.
I know leaning forward always does my back in, but people have to see me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, normally I don't have the camera on, but
hmm.
maybe something to change up the thumbnail there instead. But
I
but
have two
anyhow,
lights there, folks. Ooh, 3, 4. There we go. By modern standards, by current year standards, folks, and Gorilla, Red Dawn 2012 is a good film. But people compared it to the original, and because of the movie going at the time, the entertainment industry at the time, it was much better than it is today. It was not well received, and it didn't make any money. In fact, it lost money, unfortunately.
yeah. Well, I can understand why they did wanted to do a remake because about half the people I haven't even been around since the Soviet Union. Like
Hmm.
I was born. What year what month did the Soviet Union collapse?
The Soviet Union officially collapsed on Christmas Day, 1991.
Oh, was it Christmas Day?
Hmm.
Okay, so I was about 20 days old. So
Oh, I was minus. Ooh, I was born in June 22nd, a few days ago. In fact, it
yeah.
was yesterday, I think. 1999.
Oh, happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
But yes, most people, especially younger people, unfortunately, don't know about the Soviet Union and how brutal it was.
Yeah. And
But they. Hmm?
and
Oh,
that's why
go
I think they want to go with North Korea in this.
on.
Well, they originally wanted to go with China, but you got to have the China market. For a lot of movies. No, no, I can understand them not wanting to piss the Chinese off if they don't
Hmm.
have to, but the Chinese would have been a better choice. But North Korea is also a good choice because the way their military is structured and all that, most of us have grown up listening to how bad North Korea is and all the
Hmm.
missile stuff and all that. We've learned to hate the North Koreans.
Hmm.
You know, no that versus like my age there, it's like, oh, the Soviets were they that really that bad? I don't know because I never lived through the Cold War.
Exactly. In fact, Red Dawn as a film was released right at the end of the hottest point of the Cold War, mid 1980s. Soviet Union was weakening politically, but not militarily. So their economy was going under. Their politics were not very strong, but their military was still solid. They were still getting their paychecks, basically.
Well, I thought,
And
well, I thought the hottest part was the Cuban Missile Crisis.
Oh yes, that was the closest we ever came in the early '60s. But in the late 1980s, that was the last time, the last point. I think it was 1984 to 1986. That was the last time we were really close to nuclear conflict between the communist world and the Western world.
Yeah. But
But hmm?
keep going, keep going.
Well, but in Red Dawn, the original in I think it was 1984,
Yeah, it was
uh,
1984.
was really a product of its time, in my view, because America was the great American comeback of the 80s was in full swing, folks, under Ronald Reagan. But the Soviet Union appeared to still be going strong. Now, in reality, they were falling to bits, even in the 80s. So, this movie was released just at the right time with the right opportunity, a sort of what if scenario. What if the Soviet Union rapidly invaded the Western world and the United States uh, and effectively wiped everyone out? Wiped all major governments out. And it was incredible. And it woke a lot of people up who were sort of skeptical as to whether to take the Soviets as a serious threat. Unlike with the 2012 version, which wasn't really a product of its time, because although North Korea is a threat, it is a minor threat. Its military capabilities are, even today, folks, very limited. They can still do plenty of damage to America's allies, especially South Korea and Japan. But in regards to being a great threat to America, no, not at all. That's
Yeah,
why changing it from China to North Korea was a silly idea, and it completely undermined the realism that the original film had.
yeah. But how much tech does North Korea have that we don't know about that they're hiding?
Hmm.
Maybe
I
they're
the same thing was true of the Soviet Union. A lot of their power and strength came as a result of them being an unknown.
yeah.
Hmm.
No, I think it is unbelievable that North Korea could even get within 500 miles of our border, of our coast, without the fleet
Hmm.
intercepting them.
Yes. But,
Though I will say, there's one big complaint I got about this
mhm.
movie is where the hell was our military at? I mean, I
Oh,
know they said they launched an EMP
hmm.
there that knocked out all communications, but we got enough military bases on the west coast there that they could send smoke signals if they had to.
Yes. I think in the original story, as with this story, most of the United States' military assets, official military assets, were outside of the United States. This is the thing I try to remind Americans, is that the U.S. military, Army, Air Force, and Navy, has more of its assets in foreign nations, like Europe, the European continent full of European nations, Japan, South Korea, Taiwan, and also bases all around the world. So the United States has more military assets abroad than it does at home. So it is technically more susceptible to a surprise attack at home. And if it's strong enough and powerful enough, it could cause a lot of devastation, causing the United States to recoil and literally reinvade itself.
Yeah.
That's why I made the point. I think it was in another live stream about. I think it was on the last live stream with you and your good friend whose name escapes me, Pickles.
Pickles. Yeah, pickles.
But yes, this film, the remake 2012, in my view, it is a good film by today's standards, but it lacks the realism and it lacks the opportune moment that its original did at that time during the
Yeah.
Cold War.
But I still think it was basically really still an entertaining popcorn
Oh,
flick.
yes.
I was
Oh,
entertained,
yes.
even though
Hmm.
half that stuff would have been impossible to get past their guarding Spokane, Washington. Though someone did bring up a couple people did bring up the fact that well, where's all the guns in that? Where's all these guns at? Because there's more guns in America than there is people. But here's the
Yes.
thing: they're forgetting it's Washington. What they got stricter gun laws than they say they do in the Midwest.
Hmm.
It's not like they invaded Texas. They went to dare to invade Texas. They went to invaded Oklahoma or any of the Gulf states there.
Hmm.
There, most of the Midwest, we are heavily armed here. But you
Oh,
got like
yes.
but you got your strict gun laws in like New Jersey, Maryland, New York, Washington, Oregon,
Mo-
California.
Most of America's population, ladies and gentlemen, is on the west and east coast. But the places with the biggest population centers have the strictest gun control measures. They also have the highest levels of crime. Yeah, I wonder why.
well,
Um,
I think that's more with the crime there.
hmm,
It's more population, but yeah, where would you where would you break into someone's homes? A place where you know the person's not armed, or a place where if I break in there, am I gonna get shot?
hmm, exactly. That's why I think today, although I will drift off point this once, today the United States feels like two countries forced together, in which one part is mostly red and the other part is mostly blue, if you know what I mean.
Well, I think that's just the way some of these people like to categorize people. You
Mm,
know, I think 60% of the America is libertarian, both a little
mm,
bit blue and a little bit red. You know,
mhm,
but then you got like 10% that's the far left, ten
mm.
percent that's the far right, and
Oh,
then you got California.
yes, but in regards to this film, folks, it does have a good basis in the beginning. It does have quite good actors, of course. Thor, the main character, Chris Hemsworth, as well as oh, what was his name? He was in the Hunger Games. Oh, I forgot. Hutchinson should be right
Oh,
here. Should
my
be right
friend was
here.
my friend
Uh,
was just talking to me here.
mhm.
I'll see what the message was because we were talking about this here because they asked I think you're right on that, but just
Okay.
1 second, I gotta get to that message. Um, are you talking about Josh Peck?
Yes, but I don't think he was in the Hunger Games. It's the other one, Hutchinson. He's
Oh,
right
John
there.
Hutchinson or it's a
I
little blurry for on my
yes,
end.
yes. It
Yeah,
is not the best, folks.
yeah.
But
No,
yes.
well, it could be blurry on my end too because I know mine's a little bit blurry. And hey there, Resolute.
Hello.
So,
You have given us a bad film by 2010's early 2010s standards, but a good film by early 2020s standards.
yeah,
I would take a Red Dawn any day over a Kenobi TV show.
I don't know. I've been enjoying Kenobi so far.
Oh, well, I've seen bits and pieces, and I must say that it's not, to me at least, compared with other Disney Plus shows related to the Star Wars universe. It just seems to be bait and switch, and it's just messing with things that I think shouldn't really be messed with. I mean, Star Wars wasn't really built to be a television series. That was Star Trek. Star Wars
I
was the films.
I
But
know.
in
I heard a lot of good things about the Mandalorian. That's Star
hmm,
Wars.
hmm. Although in regards to Red Dawn, I don't think a film like that would get made today because of all of the things that are going on in popular culture, in the mainstream entertainment industry. Why? Because too many people would kick up a fuss, especially if the main antagonist was the Chinese. Hmm.
Mm, yeah. Now I do got one question though. Is there
Mhm.
women in the North Korean military?
Oh, yes,
Yes, there is. Okay.
men and women. Hmm.
I just didn't know how with it being a communist country, I didn't know if they just think of women as baby factories or if they actually let them do stuff.
Oh, when communism was first founded and put in practice, Gorilla, for its time in the 1910s and the 1920s, women were given completely equal status to men in regards to everything. So they served in active military roles, they served in jobs, They served even in government at a time when, in the West, women would never get to the top of government or near the top of government. So, yes, they do treat men and women as equals. And that's why so many brainwashed intellectuals were so attracted with communism, because they equalized everyone in a time when, in the West, people were seen as different and thus they had different roles. That's why so many people in our countries 50, 60 years ago were so attracted with it, because they believed it was to ensure equality for all people, when in reality it did ensure that equality, but no one would have a peaceful and prosperous life. They would be controlled by the state.
Okay, so that part was realistic then
Mm,
in the movie there.
yes.
So I did like the fact that one girl, she walked up and just turned around like, well, like that wasn't suspicious enough. They chased him down. They did popped out of fucking nowhere and just shot him all there.
Mm.
But it's another thing. Like, how didn't anybody hear any of this?
Well,
So you
that's the
got
thing.
so I think this movie is pretty well balanced. For every nitpick I could say,
Mm.
balances out with something good and or fun to make there. You
Oh
know,
yes, it has good elements and bad elements.
yeah.
The realism, I believe, is the what lets it down. But the action, the fun aspect of it, of this band of basically teenagers, because that's what they're supposed to be,
Well, that's what
teenagers.
the Red Dawn was, the original Red Dawn.
Hmm.
But this guy had military training versus the original Red Dawn. That guy didn't have any military training.
Hmm. You just added to that notion of people power. We, the people, will prevail. But yes, it was a fun film from the bits and pieces I have seen, the highlights, if you would. But it didn't hit the same way as the original, because it wasn't released at the right time. Had it been made as a pro-American film in, say, 2016, China is the main enemy, America's on the back foot, but it gathers together, it unites, and it ultimately prevails, then it would have been a great film, box office bestseller, and
Or
absolutely despised by CNN and
or
MSNBS.
or they could fuck it up. Like they're fucking up the remakes right now, which I
Hmm.
don't understand why a lot of the stuff's getting the reboots or remakes. It's like, are we that much out of ideas that we have to wreck our good movies and remake our old
Well,
movies?
well, I could actually give the reason for that, Gorilla. It's because people within Hollywood and within mainstream entertainment industry need to reboot these franchises to latch their agendas into established franchises such as Star Trek, Star Wars, other film franchises as well. That's why they keep them going, so that they can use it as a platform, as Alex Kurtzman famously said on a live stream. It's not about the show, it's about the platform to push their agenda.
Yeah, because he said anybody who doesn't like Star Trek Discovery is just a bunch of racist, bigoted,
Mm.
xenophobic right
Buzzwords.
wingers. Yeah,
Words that used to have meaning, words that would be proven. First of all, you'd have to prove the person was what you said they was. Don't get that anymore. And if they were properly accused with proof, that would ruin someone's life and take them out of public life.
yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah, they took the cocaine out of the writing rooms, and
Hmm.
all of a sudden everything turned into shit. But
That's an interesting.
yeah,
That's an
but
interesting idea.
but but to sidetrack a little bit, talking
Mm.
about all the buzz terms and all that, I gotta
Mm.
say, a few months ago, I was very proud of the Canadian Parliament there. They had a lady giving a speech during the Freedom Convoy there,
Mm.
and she used every single buzz term in one breath. I gotta say that I'll give you props for that when you got every single buzz term in one breath.
Mm. Well, apologies for sidetracking again, folks, but you mentioned Canada, Gorilla. A new piece of legislation is being released called called Bill, that's better, C-11. It's basically an online streaming act in which streaming companies, basically likes of YouTube, Twitch, social media platforms, video platforms like we are on, have to promote certain creators that have approved status by the Canadian government. So they get more recommendations, they get more, impressions. Basically, more people see approved Canadian government channels.
Yeah.
And basically, it's going to kill independent content financially kill independent content creation in Canada, because anyone who disapproves of what the Canadian government does, such as with the Freedom Convoy, they won't get any traction, they won't get any impressions, because their content is not approved by the Canadian government. And I think if that can pass in Canada, it'll spread like wildfire, and it may even reach the United States. Could destroy us.
I don't know, I got a couple percentage points in my watches there from Canada, and I even 1% from Russia.
Oh, see, they'll accuse you of being a Russian agent.
I know 55% from the United States.
They'll accuse me of being a Chinese communist spy while I clean my glasses.
Yeah, well, you don't have to apologize for a sidetrack, and that happens all the time on this channel.
Well, in regards to Red Dawn, folks, it's a good movie, especially by today's standards. It was released at the wrong time. It lacked realism. And on the plus side, though, it was a very good, fun action film.
Yeah, it's well paced with that, and it was like well paced, and there's a lot of action in it. There's good acting. It was in good definition for what I seen it in. They're in. Hey there, pop culture. What sounds more like censorship?
That's exactly what it is. It's censorship by the back door. The Canadian government actually say it's to promote local Canadian content, basically to promote Canadians who don't get much traction beyond Canada. That's the reason they're giving for putting this legislation through. That the content that these great people create should get a boost from foreign people, when it's not that at all. It's censorship by the back door of Canadian content creators like Fat Steven Seagal, who got a massive boost of subscribers while covering the Freedom Convoy in Canada. He's been stagnating recently, around 5,000 subscribers, and actually showed a graph of his viewers over the last 48 hours. It was 280 views, right? And he has 5,000 subscribers. You could clearly see YouTube suppressing the video as soon as the live stream was released. Then I decided, because I'm 3 away from 600 subscribers, hopefully I get to 600 soon, but I decided to release my viewership over the last 48 hours, and it was 200 views, 80 less than him. Now his channel, Gorilla, his channel has nearly 10 times the subscriber base that mine has. I have 597. He has nearly 5,000 subscribers. Yet I'm only 80 views behind him.
Yeah.
It's
well, in all fairness,
really channel suppression.
Well, in all fairness, there on your sir, I haven't gotten to all your videos yet, so you'll have one more here tomorrow.
I'm like the communists, Gorilla. What I lack in quality, I make up for in sheer quantity.
Yeah. Well, just the way work's been lately, there I've had to kind of watch the longer videos that are in the subscription tab. Then with than in than the shorter videos there.
Hmm. I mean, different creators grow in different ways, and some grow as live streamers, some grow as content creators. And we start talking about one topic, and it gradually evolves to the next, and then the
Yeah,
next, and everything sort of links together.
yeah,
Hopefully, we don't get a real life Red Dawn.
yeah. But yeah, but yeah, this is just a balancing out. So I think that's pretty much the defense of Red Dawn we got there. I think it's pretty much balanced out. So
Mm-hmm.
we can talk about anything else here. We can go to the general chat and that whatever you want
Sure,
to talk about.
sure. Thinking about it, I did want to talk about what I'm going to do over the next few days. I've managed to get around 4 videos a day. That would be the
Yeah,
balance. And I like talking about creators, rising stars, of course. Take
yeah,
suggestions from the audience. And I've noticed recently, as I analyze channels, Gorilla, that some channels grow much quicker than others. Some channels grow a lot, and over a very short period of time, like Fat Steven Seagal, then they stagnate because of channel suppression. I've also began to notice that certain creators, one particular creator, who was part of our, say, what would you call it,
a
fellowship? Yeah,
community, a
a,
community.
a massive coalition that is a community of content creators. I remember him. It's not live anymore, and I won't divulge his name because I was told this privately. But he wanted to get rid of creators who were not positive, who were critical of the way franchises were going, Gorilla, like Star Wars. If you were critical of the way Star Wars was going and you were critiquing the shows for going against established law, then you should be removed because you have nothing positive to offer. And because I was given this information privately, because that stream no longer exists, he tried to suppress it. Um, but thankfully, I looked through it, and it's just ridiculous. You don't exclude people as a creator, you welcome people. You need all the help you can get. I'm sure Gorilla would welcome an extra 50 subscribers.
Oh
Just,
yeah,
just like I've welcomed hundreds of new people since the start of the year, from 52 to 597, from January the 1st to today. How, I do not know, because barely anything has changed, except for the green screen and light, but they were only recent additions.
yeah,
But I've really enjoyed my time so far,
yeah.
and it's always nice getting to know new people. And hopefully, we can all work together as a loose coalition of creators. And if any of us are in trouble, if the establishment wants to take one of us out, like with the umbrella guy, how he dealt with Amber Turd, then we should all come together and protect one another. An attack on one is an attack on all.
Yeah. No, I think the reason some people grow faster than others, it depends on how you advertise, how professional you look, how
Mm,
entertaining you are. I try to be entertaining. I know I'm not the most entertaining person. I try to come up with unique stuff for different things. And I think we have to have like a balanced perspective of you got. Yeah, you can anybody can nitpick the crap out. Like for the reason Defensive Thursdays came along is
hmm
anybody can nitpick bad episodes and all
Yeah,
that or bad movies. But it takes some time and thought to think of the good in a movie or a show. Try to
mm,
show the good in a movie or a show.
yes, that is understandable, especially in current day when so much released is not that good. There are some gems, some diamonds in the rough, such as Top Gun Maverick and Stranger Things, the latest series, although that that what do you call it? That's seasons. That set of seasons at the start. Season 1 was good. Then 2 and 3 kind of dipped, and then the new one, I think it's the 4th one, has done much better. But we need to see the good in past things that were flops, because they are. Red Dawn 2012 is better than a lot of modern releases. I think, dare say, it was better than Doctor Strange.
Yeah. And hey there, hey there, Gap Stargate. Well, welcome to the stream. There. No, wait. What were you saying again? Oh, sorry, I interrupted you.
Oh, I was just saying that flops, so movies that were initially released that didn't do well, such as Red Dawn 2012, more famously The Thing in 1982. When it was released critically, it was panned, and I don't think it made any money. So it lost money, but by today's standards, Gorilla, The Thing in 1982, it's been 40 years since that movie was released, and people love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely adore it. So times do change.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen Doctor Strange here yet.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Yeah. And hey there, 47 Yorktown. Welcome. And yes, they did remake Red Dawn in 2012. Me and Ryan were talking about that earlier. It had a good balance of some of the stuff that's unbelievable and unreal there, but balanced out with good action and good pacing and stuff like that.
I'd give it, out of 10, I'd give it about a 6, which for me is actually quite good.
Well, I'll give it an 8.5, but this is also coming from a guy who defends bad movies and bad episodes. And since you're actually new to the chat, or being on the channel, being in the chat and that, you get to pick next Thursdays.
Oh, goodness me.
The only rule is nothing serialized.
Oh, so no television series?
No. They could be the episodic TV episodes and that. Just nothing serialized like they got in like Discovery, where the whole season's like one story. Because then I'd have to watch multiple episodes just to figure out. So it just has to be.
Well, there is a movie that I really enjoyed as a kid. It's a Disney movie, not a modern one, but one from the early 2000s, I think. It's a Disney movie called Treasure Planet. Now, it is a film. It was a film that was released by Disney. It didn't do well on release, and Disney didn't really promote the film. It's about this teenager, Jim Hawkins, who's basically this roughed up teenager, does whatever he wants. His dad left. He has a single parent mother. She runs this, I think it's a hotel. It's either a hotel or an inn or something. And it's like half of it's old school pirate stuff, on the 7 seas. But the other half is super futuristic in space. So it's like a mishmash of 2D animation and 3D animation. It was quite expensive to make at the time. It didn't make a lot of money on release. A sequel for it was canceled. But I've always enjoyed it as a kid. And you should probably check it out. Probably be a bit too childish for you.
Oh,
but no. I have it up here on the tower, actually. I can show it to you.
Nothing's too childish. And I'm going to apologize if anybody can hear the bulldozers and all that. They're still working on the construction right outside my house.
Well, here it is. It's a bit dusty.
So next week, it looks like looks like I'll be defending Treasure Planet.
Oh, the ending. I love the ending.
Yeah.
Won't spoil it for you.
Yeah.
I don't think you've seen it.
47 Yorktown, it was the North Koreans.
And it's laughable that they invade the United States.
Well, they
It's
got
just
like the third or fourth largest army in the world.
well, Iraq had, I think, Iraq in the first Gulf War. Iraq had one of the biggest armies on earth, but with outdated technology, they were annihilated by the United Nations security forces.
Well, when you
Uh,
got 60 planets or 60 nations attacking at once,
hmm.
you're bound to get hit pretty hard.
Well, it was still, in all fairness, Gorilla, the United Nations task force was still outnumbered 3-1 in men, tanks, and about 2-1 in jet fighters. But it was because of the organization and the modern technology of the United Nations task force led by the United States that Iraq was decimated. If the Iraqi military was more organized and more professional by a Western standpoint, then, although they would have taken more losses, obviously, because of their more outdated technology, most of it was Soviet of that era, uh, the West and the United Nations Task Force would have lost a heck of a lot more people, causing much more of an outrage.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, next week will be Planet. So
Yes, Treasure Planet.
alrighty, that so alrighty then. That ought to be interesting. At least it wasn't Fantasia. That's one where you got. When I first seen Fantasia, there, I don't even know what the hell that movie's about because I thought it was on a bad acid trip. I don't even do
Well,
acid.
I had a videotape of Fantasia. I don't know if I still have it, but it is. I think it was basically just a show-off piece of what Disney could do at the time.
Oh, sorry. I had to laugh at Resolute's comment here.
Mm.
Yeah. So anyhow, about Fantasia.
Hmm?
What about Fantasia?
Oh, basically, I personally think that the film was to show off what Disney could do with animation at that time, a sort of crescendo of music and animation, because through most of its history, folks, although Disney does have a dark reputation, throughout most of its history, it has had the best animators. And up until recently, the early 2000s, early to mid 2000s, before then, it was all hand drawn, barely any of it computer generated. And that was the art form that made Disney animated films so good. But then Disney turned into this juggernaut, just buying everything and eating it alive.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Disney's collapsing. I haven't even looked at their stocks, but they went from like
Hmm.
$300 a share down to less than 130.
Hmm.
And Netflix went from 700 plus, $700 plus a share down to less than 90.
It's ridiculous because this company has been taken over by people who use it as a platform.
Yeah.
It's got nothing to do with business. That's how you can tell you're dealing with communists, Gorilla. They don't care about the money. They will burn all the money they have if it means trying to indoctrinate people to believe in their ideas. It's why they get into schools as teachers. Why? Because state schools, public schools, I think you call them in the US, but state schools, uh, they don't go bankrupt because their money comes from the government. So they can spend all that money willy nilly on teaching students to believe in their ways.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not really a fan of anime. I wouldn't consider Treasure Planet to be anime because the Japanese have a very distinctive form of animation. I've probably said this before on other streams. I don't know if I've said it on yours, Gorilla, but Japan and Japanese culture, since it was integrated into the West after the Second World War, has changed radically. How long has it been? America gave Japan back to itself in 1952. So Japan has been an independent country, an independent Western country, since 1952. So for 70 years, this year is the 70th year, Japan has been a Western country in which Japanese culture and Western culture have been sort of fused together when prior to the Second World War, they were completely alien of one another.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason anime looks the way it is, I think Japan purposely does it like that. Give it kind of like a unique look.
Yes, that is understandable.
Yeah, I think it's purposely done that way for a unique look versus what we could do in America. Could they do better animation? Most definitely. They could probably do better animation than we can here in the States. But I think they want that unique look for Japanese animation.
If you look how Japan has changed in 70 years since the end of the American occupation in 1952 until today, Japan has changed radically from when it was the old empire. If that's what we can do to a civilization that existed for 2,500 years, I think it was 2,600 years before the West took over. Imagine what another civilization could do to the West, whose civilization is much younger. I mean, the United States will be 250 years old in 2026. Barely a tenth of the age of Japan. So, yeah, it's quite worrying.
Yeah, so. And so communists don't like money, so that's why Resolute hates them. And hi there, Ian. Welcome to the channel. Shalom to you. Or shalom.
Hello, Ian. Hope you're doing well.
So, it's cheaper, less frames per second. Disney and Warner Bros. Used to use 24 frames per second. Anime Kisses uses far less.
Oh. Well, you got to save money, especially if you wish to make a profit in this day and age.
Yeah. And this one I think is directed at you there.
Yes. Yes, Ian is a great guy. What he does with his crew, it's very funny. It's very entertaining. You should check him out if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And I think you would enjoy what he has to offer. The bigger the creator pool we can establish, folks, the bigger the coalition, the more successful we will be. If ever the mainstream looks at us and goes, "Oh, we want to get rid of you now," we need all the help we can get. That's why I encourage people to speak their mind, make videos, have live streams with guests, and just talk about things. Yes, you are correct.
Yeah, but I still think that goes back to the unique look. Maybe if they did bring it up to 24 frames per second, but they probably could increase the speed. But I think the look gives them a unique advantage.
Well, it's a win-win situation. They have a distinctive animation style, and they can do it at a low cost. So it is the best of both worlds in that respect.
Okay.
I just hope the Chinese don't take over the West and change our civilization just like we did to Japan. Fingers crossed.
Well, I won't have to worry about it. I'll be dead because the Chinese aren't going to keep me alive.
Well, you see, China throughout most of its history, Gorilla, was mostly on the coast of what is modern day China. Basically, within that coastline and going inland, all the other territory in the mountains like Tibet and Xinjiang and the border with Mongolia, uh, that was recently acquired territory over the past 200 years.
Yeah.
So China, for most of its existence, was in that small or you say small, it was about the size of Europe, but by their standards, small area. And that's where most Chinese people, Han Chinese people, live.
Yeah. I think Real Life Lore did a video on that. Why like most of like 90% of China's population lives west or east of this line, and they drew a line out over China. It's actually
Yes.
pretty interesting. I don't know if you ever heard of that channel, Real Life Lore.
Because Western China doesn't have barely any Chinese people living there. Most of them are Muslims. That's why the Chinese set up those camps in Xinjiang province in the far west of China to try and convert people. And if they can't get converted, they kill them. That's why they're called concentration camps.
California. We changed the name of those camps, especially from 1940s Germany there to California or California Permanent Naptime Shower Facilities.
They don't even have the courage to call them what they actually are.
That's just how we get around the YouTube downgrading us.
But we're dealing with people, say, in the state, for example, the state of California. It is run by people who have weaponized weakness into a strength.
Yeah.
Woe is me, I am a victim. Give me power to make the world right. You give them power and they unleash hell upon the area. I mean, just look at California's cities. They're shitholes. Oh. Oh. Ah. Could you imagine an animated film at 60 frames per second?
I've never watched anime, to be honest. I see bits and pieces of anime, but I've never really watched it.
I think it's a niche. That's why when people, especially within our coalition, recommend anime as an alternative to Western pop culture, some people just can't get used to it because it is its own distinctive model. That's why the woke creatures don't go anywhere near Japan, because it's peripheral. It's not their main objective to corrupt. So they just leave it alone. Plus, the Japanese are also very protective of their franchises. Yes, that is true, Resolute. Yes, that is also true. Pop culture curator, get out of California. The taxes are sky high. The property prices are through the roof. I mean, Northern California wants to join Idaho, for God's sake. That's how you know a state or a local area is desperate. I mean, most of Oregon wants to go to Idaho, and most of Northern California wants to go to Idaho. I mean, what's in Idaho? I don't know.
Potatoes.
Do you know?
Potatoes.
Potato. They want the potatoes. That's how desperate they are. They're starving. They need food. So they need Idaho's potatoes. That's why they want to join the state. As well as low taxes. And probably no gun control.
I know. Idaho's a pretty decent state.
But most of those states in the American Midwest, Gorilla, have very, very small populations.
That's West Coast. Idaho's West Coast.
And
right. With Idaho there, you can tell they keep to themselves because you never hear anything about them, so they keep to themselves. Yeah. Never give a victim power. They are the worst people to get it. They go straight to revenge and end up 10 times worse than the ones. Yep, yeah. That's true. A lot of people are going to Texas and other conservative states.
And gradually turning them purple.
I don't know. Texas is getting redder. and so
Well,
is
that's
Florida.
that. The one advantage, Gorilla, of having your southern border wide open is that it's full of Latinos are coming through who are religious, so they're Catholic, so they're Christian. They believe in the family structure, mother, father, kids, so they won't fall for the bloody single parent nonsense. They're also very hardworking people. You see them especially in agriculture. The old stereotype of cutting people's grass and shrubs and so forth. So the people coming into the United States are of a similar culture, a similar religion, and of a similar work ethic. That's why more and more of the Latino community are sick and tired of the woke bastards who call them Latinx to get rid of the gender aspect of Spanish culture and their way of life, which is the origin of the Latin Americans, Spain and Portugal.
And,
Portugal for Brazil, Spain for everywhere else.
yeah,
And
and,
that's
and
why they're
pop
getting
culture.
redder.
Yeah, pop culture. Our border didn't open until January 20th, 2021. There in this, really, the states have to go to the federal government for that because that's the border is supposed to be federally regulated,
Nope.
but they just kind of stopped doing their job because a different asshole was in charge.
Hmm. You're going to think about it, though, folks. If you've got an open wound and your masters in government tell you not to close it, are you going to not close it? I mean, the same
Uh,
should be true for the states. If your state is being invaded by lots of different people, then you should try your best with your limited resources of a state government to patch that hole, so to speak.
yeah, but Texas is trying to work on it,
Hmm.
but it's kind of hard.
Well, you could have all
Yeah.
the border of Texas secured, but they could just get into New Mexico or Arizona or
Uh,
California.
well, their better choice is just to go to California and come up that way because California won't stop them.
Hmm. Why? Because they're voters for the next election.
Well, it's more like because California counts undocumented work or undocumented people as citizens or as people living in California. So that's
Ridiculous.
actually added. It's been approximated that they've gained one seat in Congress because of that, maybe possibly up to two, because it goes by population in the census.
Absolutely ridiculous. You're dealing with a decadent and corrupt force
Yeah,
in the demon rats.
yeah, and the
And then
feds
you've got
keeps yeah, yes, and the feds keep suing the states too.
and
Yeah,
you got
but
to think about the rhinos as well,
yeah,
bastard.
and I like what's his Abbott was doing there.
Hmm.
He got them all to get on the bus
Yeah.
there, and he busted them to DC. They said here so that they're closer, so you can deal with their immediate needs.
Yes.
He dropped them off
Give,
right at the Capitol steps.
give them a taste of their own bloody medicine.
Yeah, it's more to make a point of how many people are crossing at a time.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Christ.
I get
Illegal aliens, illegal foreigners getting free health care on the backs of American taxpayers. That is disgraceful. No wonder California has such a high tax rate. That is ridiculous.
You see, I wouldn't mind, if it's like an emergency situation, like someone was here on a visa or something, and they broke their leg or
Mm.
something. But but if they're just coming here and all of a sudden, if it's not an emergency thing, or if they all that,
Hmm.
they should have to pay it out of their own pocket then.
Absolutely ridiculous. Get out of cities, get out of blue states, go to the countryside where the land prices are through the floor. And raise a homestead, get some land, become, like one of those agriculture. Yes,
Farmers.
become a farmer. Uh,
People always bash and make fun of farmers, but not everybody can grow crops and make sure that they get the
mm,
high yields and make sure their fields don't get flooded out. The child
mm.
zone really proved that. I don't know if you ever seen pictures of that. They tried throwing potted plants on top of a pile of dirt that's on top of a bunch of newspapers. That
Oh
was all
yes,
on top
yeah.
of concrete.
The Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. I talked about that disgraceful activity during my thoughts on Seattle. You're probably right, Resolute Germ. It will be dead because you won't be able to afford it. And yeah, it'll go back to how it used to be when it came to healthcare. If you can't pay for it, fuck off. But in regards to what was I talking about? Oh yes, the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone. It was a hive of communist um, scum and tyranny.
Yeah,
Christ,
yeah.
absolutely disgraceful. And I'm telling you, the most productive parts of California, Gorilla, probably vote red
The
in
Northern California.
In Northern California and in Eastern California on the border with the other states.
Mm.
Thankfully, Gary got out of there.
Oh, Gary? I'm not sure which Gary you're talking about.
Oh, Gary Beekler. Buechler? How do you say his name? Nerdrotic.
Oh, Nerdotic. Okay, now I know who you're talking about.
Great guy.
Most
From
people,
narcotic to
yeah,
nerdrotic.
most people I don't know that I know only by their nicknames here. And
Oh,
Chips Ahoy to you, Cinnabon.
I don't think you're really a bunny. Because if a bunny could press keys on a laptop, or how do you press things on a phone these days?
Yeah.
Oh, touch screen. That would be quite the achievement.
Hey, he can. Hey, it doesn't affect me, so he can identify as whatever he wants. That I. That's. I'm a libertarian that way. Do
Hmm.
what you do. You do.
You are
No.
absolutely right, pop culture curator. Yes, they despise farmers because they think it's too demeaning for them.
Yeah.
If you can't feed your own people, you're fucked.
Yeah. Well, I know a lot. I know a lot. A lot of people. No. Let's see them try to farm.
Can't do it. Can't do it. It's hard work, even with all the technology we have. Because there was a time, ladies and gentlemen, when, before the Industrial Revolution, uh, I would say so. I mean, that's Ryan Cannell for you, pop culture. With this, how did that go again? He basically, Ryan Cannell, RK Outpost, who I quite like. I like all the creators because I think they're entertaining and informative. But I believe Ryan Cannell criticized Doomcock for Doomcock's coverage of Star Wars. And Gary decided, this is from my limited analysis, Gary decided that it would be better to keep Ryan Cannell on and have better relations with geeks and gamers than to keep Doomcock into the fold. That's why you don't have Inquisition anymore. And it was either keep the Inquisition or potentially destroy Friday Night Tights. Now, Friday Night Tights at the time was a big thing. Now it's massive. So, in terms of being a creator, making that difficult choice, he chose to protect his interests and the interests of his main show rather than the interests of another creator and a secondary show in the Inquisition and the Exozone. But it was touch and go during that time. It is unfortunate, pop culture curator, that ended up happening. That's why, folks, we should not criticize one another because we're not each other's enemies. If someone wishes to engage in rumor and hearsay, it is entirely up to them. And if the audience likes that, they will like it, subscribe to the channel, and follow the creator. That's why Doomcock is at 276,000 subscribers, because people enjoy his content. Now, it's fine to have disagreements, but to outright criticize and demean another creator, in my view, is not a good thing. But if I were in Gary's position, I would have done what he did. He chose the lesser of two evils. He chose to protect his interests. And yeah, he made the best out of a bad situation. Thankfully, Doomcock is doing well. Thankfully, his shows are still going strong. And best of luck to both factions that once made the fandom menace. Hmm. That's my 2 cents. Because that event, Gorilla, was a clear example of a coalition fracturing, breaking in two, or breaking into two pieces. Now, I don't ever want to see that happen again, because we creators are all in the same boat. And in my view, we either all hang together, as in stay with each other and work together if we can, or we'll all be hanged separately, as in the mainstream will pick us off one by one and not actually hang us, but in terms of our influence and our prominence, they will get rid of us, they will ban us, they will censor us individually. So I'm for bridge building. I'm for building coalitions between creators. Of course, we can disagree, but in my view, it's best to encourage one another. Exactly. And that, in my view, that was a bad thing. But you know what Ryan Cannell is like. You know what Az is like as well. They're headstrong individuals. They're kind of like bulls. They will just charge in head first, and they'll knock anything in their path. That's why they're so good when they do those rants against Star Wars and Star Trek. But when they do that to fellow creators, it causes a lot of damage. But I think everyone is welcome. Everyone should have a voice. We shouldn't get rid of people, even if they do have takes that we disagreed with. Yes, that is a good point. He could have apologized. But in my limited view, from what I've seen, he made the best of a bad situation. Could he have done better? Of course. We all could. Gary is far from the perfect perfect person. I mean, he is a recovering alcoholic after all. Fine man, but that's why Nerdrotic exists, folks. In order for him to keep on going, to not, you know, be on the bottle, and it's been very successful for him. But it's unfortunate that that turn of events happened, and hopefully it never happens again. That's why I'm for bridge building and coalition building. That's why I'm on everyone's live streams. How are you? How are you? How are you? Hey, pop culture. If you've got a show, maybe you can invite me on your show and we can talk about this and talk about how coalitions fracture or fandoms fracture and how they can be avoided in the future. Because we're all in the same boat. And if we destroy each other, then the establishment is going to prevail, in my view. It is unfortunate. I'd love to speak to everyone from any side, every side, except for the mainstream media and the mainstream entertainment industry. I don't wish to speak to them. They're dinosaurs, their history.
Oh, you don't want to go on Brian Stelter's show and tell him how much of an idiot he is?
No, I don't want to be anywhere near the Commie News Network, Gorilla.
Well, I think that's actually changing there because they got bought out by Discovery, I think it was. I think
Oh,
Brian Stelter's actually down to weeks of that day. Or down to weeks of still being there, and they're
Well,
changing a lot of things.
hopefully they do clean house because, Gorilla, there was a time when CNN was owned by Turner Broadcasting, Ted Turner, that they were actually a reputable news outlet. And that started to change when Ted Turner lost control of his own company with the merger with America Online, and CNN became much more partisan and much more aligned with a single political philosophy, and that was the left.
Uh,
Oh, very good.
that's great,
Very good.
great there, Resolute. Congratulations.
Mm.
And Headstrong. I'm not sure who's Headstrong.
I think he's talking about Ryan. And yes, if you think about it, pop culture, look where Ryan Cannell was, pre beard. He was the baby face of the coalition. He was being radicalized. The mainstream media accused the coalition, the Vanda Menace, and now it's the Fellowship, of radicalizing Ryan Cannell. And I'm like, oh, for God's sake. It's his own mind, it's his own way of thinking. Yes, it can cause internal problems, but it is entertaining, it is informative. I would expect nothing less from a veteran of 11 years who's not afraid to speak his mind and call out what he sees as bullshit. But yes, that can be a strength and a weakness. Every person's strength, Gorilla, is also a weakness under different circumstances. Just like a person's weakness can also be a strength. Such as myself, I don't edit. I mean, the first time I ever edited Gorilla was of a blooper on YouTube. I managed to clip out a certain bit to make it more, just show the blooper, if you know what I mean. But I don't edit. Rarely. I rarely edit now. It's not don't because I've done it once. I rarely edit. I rarely clip. I don't have the necessary skills for it. Up until recently, I was down to one light, one laptop, didn't have a green screen. My last tower fell on me. That's how desperate things were. But creators evolve and try to turn their weaknesses into strengths. So when I make a mistake, yes, he can be. It is both a blessing and a curse. It's what makes us human. We all make mistakes. We all have an ego, though I try my best to suppress mine because I want to get along with people and give them the benefit of the doubt. But yes, we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, but we must all realize we have the same enemy, and that is what I call them the mainstream. Some people call them legacy media. I call them mainstream because they are in the institutions of power. They have the support of the institutions, both in media and in entertainment. So that's why I call them mainstream. But yes, we all have one common enemy. And if I could, I would love to be the bridge that brings Doomcock and his wonderful people and the Fellowship together again. Because that's what I believe we need. We need someone who can build bridges, not burn them. We have enough people who can burn bridges, Gorilla. And it's good when they burn them against woke Hollywood and against the mainstream media who are full of liars, but it's not good when we're doing it with the alliance of alternatives, this massive coalition of creators. So yes, my mouth is dry now. I've spoken too much.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Hmm.
That's why I got my juice right here.
Oh,
No,
I I get along with. I don't think well, there is one creator I don't get along with. I won't name him, but apart from that one person, there are four other creators that I don't like from a professional creator perspective. Jack Murphy, because he took a dildo up the ass and and said he was an alpha male and was selling the alpha male lifestyle while being a cuck. the other two, Nikocado Avocado and Hungry Fat Chick, because they eat themselves to death and encourage others to do the same. Who is the other one? Oh, yes, DSP, because he's a money grabbing bastard. Uh, so those four I don't like from a professional. I say professional. I'm not a professional, but from a content creator standpoint, I don't like. But there is one creator who I will not name. But there's one content creator who I do not like, who I will not name. Why? Because he tried to get rid of creators, Gorilla, who, in a sense, were too toxic, too negative when they were just critiquing the establishment and the mainstream media and the practices of the mainstream entertainment industry.
So there's a show for the establishment, basically.
Well, in a sense, he wanted to basically only talk about the positives of recent released shows.
No.
I don't think he was getting paid by them. He's not big enough for that. But
so he's a dumb shill.
hmm.
No, like I try to look at the positives, but anybody who bashes it, I won't criticize them. But I would like to have a discussion,
Yes.
No,
Yes, absolutely.
Because there's no point. Because you got to see both sides, and I don't see the
Yes.
point of sitting there yelling back and forth. Let's have a discussion.
Well, I personally think that we should criticize what the establishment is doing, but also, if we are able and willing, create our own stories. Doesn't matter how good or how bad we are with our stories. People should not expect much from us. Why? Because we are creators. We are individuals. We are just normal, everyday people. So when we make a story up and release it, we shouldn't expect people to love it. We should expect not many people to see it, and those who see it don't really like it. But that's okay. That's the same for videos. You make your first video, it's not the best. You can't get your damn script properly. Your lighting's crap. You don't have a good background. It doesn't matter. You're not CNN. You don't have $1 million budget a day. You're just you. And that's how we build the foundations for newer media, newer stories to replace Star Wars and Star Trek and all the other stories that have been ruined by the mainstream entertainment industry.
Yeah.
I mean, Resolute Germ could be a good comic book character, for example.
Yeah. Well, at least we wouldn't spend $300 million on failed investment.
How can you waste that much money? What are they doing? Fucking burning it?
I don't know. They spent $300 million on CNN Plus, and then it lasted only a month, and they only got 30,000 active users.
Yeah, you're gonna fall faster than CNN Plus. Jesus. I mean, just look at my channel, folks. At the start of the year, I was at 52 subscribers, around where Gorilla is now. Now, who knows where Gorilla will be in a year's time? Who knows where any creator will be who's just starting out in a year's time if they make content, if they speak their mind, if they talk to people, if they build a network and a community and ultimately a coalition of people that you're going to get on with and not get on with. The secret to our success, Gorilla, is to be willing to work. I can't think of a better word than work, but to work with fellow creators that you don't get on with, but you understand that you have differences of opinion, that you can set personal grievances aside and realize that you both have a common enemy in the mainstream, whether it be media or entertainment or politics, whatever it is. You have a common enemy, and the enemy of my enemy is my friend, and that we're going to work together to make, as I like to say, make pop culture great again, and to, well, save our civilization.
Yeah.
Mm.
And that's where you're coming in with your rising stars and your thoughts
Yes,
and all that stuff.
because I see what people have done, uh, where they are currently, and then where they are going. I always try to reiterate this when I'm on live streams. I believe, honestly and sincerely, that everyone I make a rising star is capable of growing as a content creator, as a live streamer, and as a shorts video maker. It just takes means and will, because YouTube, especially, will try to fuck with you. They will take subscribers away from you. They will rob you of likes. They will rob you of views. They will rob you of watch time in order to put water on the spark that is your potential. Yes. I just make America great again and just replace America with pop culture.
I think Bird can make you have a hat made for you there because he has like a blank one there
Oh.
on his website there of this make Klingons great again, but then
Mhm.
there's like a blank one that said insert your whatever here.
Yes. Well, whatever I come up with, folks, I don't patent any of it or copyright it. So if I come up with an idea like make pop culture great again, and someone takes that and puts it on a T-shirt or a hat or something and then sells it, I have no problem with that. If someone else wants to create a Rising Stars series on content creators, they're entitled to do that. If you want to take suggestion videos from the audience, you can do that, because I know of creators, Gorilla, who put suggestion videos behind a paywall of up to $15 a month. Jesus Christ! If I did that, the channel would die. Oh, oh dear. Oh, yeah. That. What was his name? What was the creator's name? No, not him.
Yeah.
I remember Acer Thorn on his membership last time I checked for a suggestion for suggestions. I think it's $14.99. He's very protective of his brand and his copyright and all that. So show a picture of his like his profile picture. Hypothetically, if you showed that on stream, he'd copyright claim you for the revenue of the stream per viewer, mind you, which is I think $20 a viewer. So if you if you get 50 views, $20 a view, that's $1,000 you owe him. Fucking money grabbing bastard. Yeah.
Well, I can understand like Steven Crowder because he was demonetized on YouTube. He has to pay for everybody and stuff like that. So he
Yeah.
has his free show, then he has Mug Club, and the Mug
Yes.
Club's all the stuff you can't say on YouTube.
I mean,
know?
I initially, when I started making videos again in late October of 2021, I never even conceived the possibility of ever being in a position to monetize, ever being in a position to have memberships. Never even considered it. But since the channel is at nearly 600 subscribers, 597, if anyone watching isn't subscribed, go and subscribe. that's a plug. But yeah, if I ever get to that point of monetization and memberships, I don't know what I can offer the people. Or a monthly ask me anything for, I don't know, $1 a month? That's about all I can think of, and I don't think anyone would turn up.
Well, that's one of the
What are you
perks.
gonna ask me?
That's one of the perks China Uncensored and America Uncovered have there is for about $1 an episode there to help pay for their stuff because they're constantly demonetized. That's one of the perks they do is you get that they'll answer one of your questions online there for the that's for the people that can't afford it, but that's because they're constantly demonetized.
Well, of course they criticize communism. What do you expect?
Yeah.
And I don't like calling them socialists and leftist. I think leftist is a lazy, it's a very lazy term.
Well, I think that stems from the French Revolution. There, the left and the right. I can't
Hmm.
think of the French names they used for them, but I think that's where it all stemmed from.
Hmm.
Was from the French Revolution.
Yes.
Tim Pool goes
But
into it quite a bit, but I haven't fact checked any of it yet. Because frankly, I don't care enough.
that's why I like calling them what they are, what they came from. They came from communism, an ideology that doesn't create, it only corrupts. It parasites off the people, it infects people's minds, and it tries to infect others. That's why they get into schools, that's why they get into government, that's why they get into civil society, because they are no good at business, they're no good at making money, and they are no good at prevailing from an economic standpoint. That's why the Soviet Union fell to bits, and most of the communist world died with it. Do, 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 do. Yes, but my niche would have to be suggestions. Well, I wouldn't call that a niche, but it's something I do for audience participation purposes. Although the more suggestions I get, the bigger the backlog, so the more time it takes to make them into videos. I think my niche is seeing how creators grow, seeing their origin story. I love creators' origin story, especially yours, Gorilla, because we're on the show now. But seeing how people start, where they are, and where they could go.
Which origin
Because
story of mine did you want to hear?
oh, as in how you began, Gorilla's random thoughts, and how you have grown, and the pressures and the difficulties of growing. Have you ever been oh, what's the word? Annoyed by your lack of progress, or are you very surprised that you
Oh,
are where you are?
some of this I'm a little bit surprised that I've gained subscribers through shorts, and stuff like
Oh,
that. I was kind of surprised. I got 3 videos now with over 1,000 views, another one with like 800,
oh,
and there's a couple of them I knew for a fact I'd only get like 3 or 4 views on them. They got like
mm,
5, but that's
oh,
just because like one day I was walking in Walmart, I seen some Beyond Meat plant based jerky. So I
oh,
just took a video of that and go, what kind of commie shit is this? Shit like I knew that wasn't gonna
mm,
gain traction. I know nobody's interested in an old pillar across the river, which used to be our old. Turns out it used to be our old railroad tracks.
mm,
But I'm thinking this weekend I'm gonna go make a bunch of shorts out at the old graveyard on Loon Lake there. That actually has a movie based on it,
oh,
on an old urban legend that was out there, with
mm,
supposed witch that was buried out there. It's actually had a movie and a song written about it. I don't know if you ever,
goodness me.
yeah. There's a guy who grew up in my home area here called Keith Elf Ellison or Elfison or something like that.
Mm,
He used to be. No, wait, that's the wrong band. Maybe or wait, yeah, maybe that was the right band. I think it was Poison, the band Poison. They got a song called Mary Jane that's based on that
oh,
urban legend out there. There's actually a movie based on that urban legend too. So I was thinking of going and taking some videos out there to but the sad part is they really cleaned it up, so it doesn't look as creepy as it was when I went there when I was
ah,
in
right.
middle school. It's all cleaned up, looking nice, has a nice signage and all that. All the gravestones are turned up right. Except
Mm.
the one with Mary Jane there. That's the one's actually sitting in the museum because the sheriff's department got tired of fishing it out of the lake. But I was thinking of doing some
Oh,
videos. I was thinking of doing some videos on the old urban legend and stuff like that.
mm.
And the story behind Gorilla's random thoughts was I can't remember whose podcast I was going on, but the guy was sitting there bashing Alex Jones left and right. He's just bashing him, and he just happened to be on Tim Pool's podcast the day before, and
Mm.
they were talking about I think it was Ishmael, and all of a sudden Alex Jones just started going. I am a gorilla. So I changed my Streamlabs, or I put my Streamlabs name as I am a gorilla, just to piss him off. And he kept kind of bashing Alex Jones. Now, when I went
Hmm.
on to another one, I think it was Salty's Checkers channel, I forgot to change the StreamYard's name. So I kept it
Oh.
as I am a gorilla. Well, well, eventually, so I just kept it like that. And eventually, everybody just started calling me Gorilla. So,
Hmm.
and when I started my channel, I was like, well, everybody calls me Gorilla, and I just have these random thoughts because if you look at my shorts, none of them have like a pattern or nothing. Because like
Mhm.
hell, I just took a video the other day of my front yard there because they dug it all up to replace the sewer line. Go,
Uh-huh.
well, on the bright side, the weeds are gone, but now my yard looks like shit.
Oh, oh.
Or then you got the random pillar out in the middle of the river. Or
Hmm.
or I caught what I thought was a fuck
Your
up at work, but
your
it turned out
channel name is worthy of what you do and what you talk about.
yeah.
My name is my own, and I started off with giving my thoughts, and they moved to suggestion videos and rising stars, and keep on going, keep on growing. Got 2 lights now. Pretty soon I may have 4 lights. There are 4 lights. Four
Well,
lights.
well, technically there was five because there was a light on his controller.
Oh. But yes,
So,
I'm
yeah.
very surprised to be where I am today. And my sort of unofficial niche, which I don't really talk about in my videos, is my ability to look at channels, look at creators, look at their origins, where they are, how they've grown, and how they could grow. That's why I second time I was on Loki's Mornings of Mischief, the Wednesday YouTube talk, talking about. Excuse me, I was about to burp then. Oh my.
About you did.
And we basically talk about content creation and how channels grow and how different channels grow in different ways because some grow as creators, content creators, some grow as live streamers. Live streamers don't grow as well as content creators. Shorts video makers can grow a lot depending on viral videos, but it's heavily dependent on the algorithm gorilla. And I think that's going to be my next source of investigation in that unofficial niche that I have. Seeing how the algorithm works and how best creators can bypass it if they are being suppressed. Because channel suppression is a real thing. Just look at
well, I
Fat
think it
Steven
was.
Seagal.
Well, I think with my shorts there, the dumber the short, the more views it gets. But of
Yes,
course,
and you,
the one wasn't really dumb, but it's just like. Yeah, but I caught what I thought was a fuck up at work. We all thought it was a fuck up, but apparently it was right. But I went down to the grocery store, bought a cookie. He goes, "Hey, caught a fuck up at work today. My boss told me I earned my cookie for once."
no. Oh my. But literally, ladies and gentlemen, anything could be a video. Anything can be a live stream in which you talk about anything. Uh, be- because of YouTube, though, it has to be, friendly with the community guidelines, guidelines that could be infinitely interpreted on a whim. And all of this could be purged, Gorilla. That's why I believe in backups. If you have the capacity, back up your content so that if and when, most likely when, YouTube and other mainstream social media platforms decide to ban you, could be tomorrow, could be next week, could be in a year's time, could be in 10 years. But since we are all their enemy, they will come for us all in the end. The question is, what are we going to do? Are we going to be picked off one by one because we've ripped each other to bits and did a Ryan Canal on a on a doomcock, or are we going to let bygones be bygones, work together, have our disagreements, and realize there's a common enemy that we can defeat if we stand together and rise together, hopefully. An attack on one is an attack on all. Well, I don't want to crack the code of the Matrix, Resolute Germ. That's not the aim of what I'm trying to do. But what I'm trying to do is sort of bypass its requirements. So one way of bypassing the algorithm, folks, is local networks and communities. So when different creators interact, like me and you, Gorilla. Say, for example, I have my channel that has nearly 600 subscribers, and your channel has just over 50. And my viewers see your content, and some of those viewers watch your content, enjoy, and subscribe, and that's how you grow. And then you appear as a guest of another streamer. Maybe he or she has 1,000, and then some of their audience sees what you're doing. Some of them may like it, maybe 5 people, 10 people, and you get 5 or 10 extra subscribers, and you grow that way, building the networks, building the communities, bypassing the algorithm's efforts to suppress people through networking and through coalition building. That's why I think it's best to pool resources and for communities and creators to interact with each other. Oh dear. I'm going to get a drink, so you can talk to the chat in the meantime.
Oh, someone fucked up though out here. They got the emergency repair truck out here.
Oh, well, hopefully things don't go out of control while I'm away for a minute.
I don't know if they broke one of the machines or they broke something while digging.
Oh dear. Well, I'll be back in a minute. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I probably won't be streaming tomorrow. I do got stuff going on there, but I will be doing my drunk trivia on Saturday. God help me, I better have 9-1 already pre-dialed. So we'll be doing trivia and all that. I'm hoping to keep it to either like history or like Berman area stuff, No, because that's the stuff I know real well. I don't want to really do Discovery or Picard trivia, to be honest. But then Sunday, we are going to be. Yeah, this Sunday we'll be doing Paul, but I will not be streaming next weekend there because it's going to be 4th of July and I got family stuff going on and stuff. Our family's having to get together and stuff. So I will be back Monday. Wednesday will be Beyond Belief. Thursday, Treasure Planet. Then I'm not sure about next Friday. But I'll figure out a topic for Monday there. Maybe we could do like a movie suggestions or show suggestions or what we could watch, or maybe we could even get maybe do a thing on what changes can we make to some of our current shows that everybody's watching to make them better, because I know a lot of people don't like Strange New Worlds. Maybe we can talk about how to make it better. There's a lot of people who said they don't like Kenobi, so maybe we can figure out how to fix that. Stuff like that. Maybe we'll do that next Friday. Not this Friday. I won't be streaming tomorrow. I got a few things I gotta get done. So next Friday, yeah, I just got going over the plans and all that, and pop culture. After Toxic Avenger 2, we're taking a week's break from Toxic Avenger. Then we'll go back to it.
Oh,
Like,
cartoon.
what was our favorites growing up, or what are they now? Because
Well,
growing,
one of my favorites would have to be the League of Super Evil. I don't know if anyone's heard of it, but I really enjoyed that
yeah.
cartoon.
See, I was a Nickelodeon baby there, so I grew up on Danny Phantom,
Oh,
All Real Monsters, Doug, Hey Arnold. There, those are the cartoons I remember there.
mm.
Nowadays, it's South Park, Family Guy, and Simpsons.
Oh, I
Hey,
really do
American
like
Dad.
the guy. It kind of went downhill over the last oh 5 to 10 years.
Well, since Seth MacFarlane decided to start censoring himself, that's when it really changed because they
I
used to
think
make fun of her.
yeah, I think recently it has gotten better.
Like, what kind of content ideas are you looking for, Resolute? Like, for like cartoons, Saturday morning cartoons. Is that what you're asking? Because I think that's me. I think that's what you asked. Because Resolute Germ here does Saturday morning cartoons,
Oh,
and
that's very
right now he's been doing. Uh, let's see. There's Conan, Transformers G1, Clone Wars, and
oh,
uh, Darkwing Duck.
that seems like a pretty good idea for a weekly series, as it were. Hopefully, you do well, Resolute, and grow as a result. It's difficult for live streamers to grow. I have to say that to you guys. Don't expect to grow overnight. If you do, Christ, have me on your show because I want your audience.
Yeah, yeah. Come join us on Saturday. Usually, I try to pop in there on Saturdays. And join the panel.
Well,
It's at
I
10 a.m. Central Standard Time, so it'd be 4 p.m. your time, I believe,
oh, that's a bit. Oh, PM.
for yours.
Oh, right. Well,
It's 10 a.m. at my time, and you're 6 hours
ah,
ahead of me.
right. Oh, yes, yes, of course. I have a. I think I could make that. Yes.
Yeah,
I might have to take a day off on Saturday though, because at 10 p.m. my time, I may. This is not confirmed because sometimes they need guests, sometimes they don't. But every Saturday, T-shirted historian and his crew over on his channel, they have a weekly Saturday show at 10 p.m. UK time. Hopefully, they invite me back on. But yes, that's usually how I spend my Saturdays. I had one show with them. Great to be there. First time. Next Saturday after this one, I won't be of. I don't think I'll be available. I think I will be available, but I'd have to take another day off from video making to say go to
yeah,
your live stream, Resolute Germ, at 4 p.m., and then another live stream at 10 p.m. with Longbrain TV. Great guy. Was suggested to me by Ian Ellis, I believe, who is in the chat, though my memory's not the best, so don't quote me on that. But yes, got quite the schedule.
yeah. So Resolute, I just really suggest Our Real Monsters. That was always a good one there.
Oh,
And Hey Arnold, everybody remembers that one. That was always fun. There, Doug, I wasn't really impressed with. We always had Cat Dog. That was always a good one. And then I'm not sure on the fourth.
oh. Well, quite a few interesting shows there. Oh my. Oh. I'm only just seeing the chat now, folks. I've been full screen for most of the video. I mean,
Oh,
live stream.
Oh, maybe I should have been clicking this. Sorry.
No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. It's just that nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect, especially creators with our hectic schedules. In fact, I'm surprised, folks, that most of us are still sane, because you do get creators who go insane, and they become internet lol cows. Very funny, but at their expense. So yes, it was good to see Resolute German pop culture curator and who else was there one? Oh, and Ian Ellis too, engaging in the chat. Mm, good, good. Keep on going, keep on growing.
Uh, Pirates of Darkwater. Okay, I've never even heard of that one. All right, so maybe we'll wrap this up here. So
Sure.
make sure to check out Pop Culture Curator's channel, especially Ray Bradbury's shows. Those are things that are wonderful there. Resolute Germ, we had a live react earlier today at 6 o'clock. He does live reacts to the Orville there on Saturday morning cartoons at 10 a.m. And on Tuesday is Sci-Fi Tuesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, where he watches Lex and Farscape.
Oh.
Cinnabon, he does a lot of. He's been starting to do some more live streams there. Yeah, pretty fun live streams when I can catch them. You want to plug Ian here?
Oh yes, Ian Ellis LLC. You can check him out on YouTube at that name, Ian Ellis LLC. He's a great guy, very funny guy. He and his crew, and hopefully you will enjoy what he has to offer.
Then we got. Well, thank you 47 Yorktown for coming, and check out Gap Stargate there, where
Yes.
he does short videos of his different collection stuff. So it's actually been pretty cool. I didn't even know half the stuff existed. It's been pretty fun
Oh.
watching that there. He also does an occasional live stream there. And I think that's everybody who identified themselves in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody will, likes to be on the chat. That's all right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this live stream. I hope you enjoyed. Please like, share, and subscribe to Gorilla's Random Thoughts.
Yeah. And thank you. You want to plug your channel?
Oh, yes. Ryan Roger Athay, my name, and the name of my channel on YouTube. Same name on Twitter and on Instagram. Check me out, Ryan Roger Athay, and I'm sure you will enjoy what I have to offer.
Yeah, he's
Gorilla,
really good.
thank you very much for having me, and to all of you, have a great day.
Yeah, he's really good with, especially the Rising Stars. If you're looking for new content to listen to and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, I'll see you guys on Saturday for my drunk trivia night. And remember to be a